we are getting to know, so in reading, we are working on and we're discussing how we are getting to know our characters in our stories. And when you're doing your independent reading, you are working on and getting to know your characters, right?
Yeah.
What are the 2 ways we've already talked about how we're getting to know our characters? Who remembers? Riley.
We find evidence.
Yeah, we're finding evidence. What are the ways that we get to know our characters?
We read and read.
Well, yeah, we definitely have to read.
Work.
We are paying attention to how they're talking and acting, right? So we're paying attention to how they talk and act.
And so on.
Yesterday, we talked about what? On how to get to know our characters. We are going to be growing a...
Leader.
Well, we're always growing a reader. We're growing in... Man, did everybody come yesterday?
I didn't come. Go.
Okay. We are growing an idea. Growing an idea. Today we grew an idea that when Dixie was giving Opal confidence, she was helping her feel confident enough to try to make new friends, right? So we've already grown that idea. We're going to continue supporting both of these while we are doing our reading. Well, today we're going to talk about how characters can create patterns in our book. They can do something over and over again to create a pattern, and that helps us to get to know them as a character. So characters show patterns. So our characters are showing us a pattern. So take a second and think. Has Opal shown us a pattern in our book? She has.
Yeah.
Think about it. What is it? Don't tell me. Think about it. Don't tell me. Think. Anybody got an idea? Kaden?
That she...
Okay. Bailey?
Maybe because he's repeating, he repeats smiling.
That's when Dixie. We're talking about Opal. Remember, a pattern is something you do over and over again. Is there a pattern forming, Patricia?
She's impulsive and kind.
Right, so she's impulsive and kind. It has to go with the kind character trait we've talked about. And another way to describe being kind is big-hearted. She has a big heart for anything or anybody. Okay? So, we know that Opal has this big heart. We already know that she's proven to us she has a big heart for who? Winn-Dixie, right? Well, in this last chapter I read, Opal showed us in a pattern that she has a big heart for somebody else. Who do we think that would be?
The preacher. The librarian.
Talk to your partners. Who do you think it'll be? Focus. I'm hearing Winn-Dixie, I'm hearing the preacher, and I'm hearing the librarian. Okay? So, the last chapter was a lot about what? What was the last chapter about? The librarian, right?
Yeah.
The librarian. And remember, Miss Franny, his librarian, we said that they were alike. And we said that they were alike because they were both kind of lonely, right? They both were lonely. They both didn't really have any friends. Yeah? Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
When we were reading? Yeah. So, loves animals. She's taken in this dog that smelled really bad and it had, just as ugly as she described it. But she loved that dog from the beginning. Now she is making friends with Miss Franny, who is this old woman, pretty old woman, who they probably wouldn't have much in common with, except for that they're both lonely. They both wish they had their mama to talk to, right? And they both, like books, kind of brought them together. She's taking in Miss Franny, which also kind of proves to us that she has a big heart. So now we're seeing a pattern form. She's had a big heart for Winn-Dixie. Now she's having a big heart for Franny, Miss Franny, right? So when we're reading, continuing to read, readers, we're not only going to keep finding evidence for how the characters act and how they talk to prove our character traits that we've already came up with. We're going to keep growing ideas about our characters, but we're also going to pay attention and see if this pattern continues and if there's more patterns going on or more patterns forming about our characters. And I want you to make sure that when you're reading, that you're doing those things as well. When you're reading your books, I want you to be paying attention to the characters, how they're talking, how they're acting. I want you to be showing evidence of how your characters are talking and acting and those character traits that you came up with. I want you growing ideas about your characters. And I want you to be noticing patterns about your characters. Okay? If you're book shopping or if your books, you do not have a fiction book that has characters in it, you need to be finding books that have characters in it, and you need to be doing that work. Okay? We're not. If you have just nonfiction books, I need you to go back and get fiction books. I need you to get books that have the same types of characters in them, so you can be working and doing your character studies. All right? Any questions?